Okay, Constance Zimmer, or should I say Critics' Choice Award winner, Constance Zimmer. How are you? I haven't seen you since that big win.
I am good. I'm here in Vancouver, so it's it takes me out of all my comfort zones of being at home. But it was fun coming that win. I got a lot of crap for it. Of course, everyone's like, "Where's the award? Are you going to bring it and like put it on your desk every day just to like prove to everybody that you won an award?" And I was like, "No, it's sitting back in LA. I visit it whenever I go home." But yeah, that night was super crazy. I mean, I saw you and I was like, "What were your odds against me?" And
Right.
I remember you were like, "They weren't in your favor."
I just went back and looked because I wanted to be sure. There were 6 ladies in your category, and you were third place to win. But for the record, I was predicting you to win because the critics absolutely went crazy for your show, and this is the critics voting. I think you guys had something like 98% critical approval rating, and I mean, you were just such like such a breakout character on that show. I just had a feeling that they would go your way.
Well, I feel really lucky because I feel like we always think that's going to happen in this business, but sometimes it's never really true. I mean, I thought, yeah, I mean, if any place you can win, let's win by the people who have been so nice to us. Went and forgot to thank them, of all people.
Oh no. Well, you can thank them right now.
Yes, I'll thank them now. Thank you so much to the critics. Because without you, nobody would be watching our show. So there you
go. What was going through your mind when they read your name on the envelope, or was it all kind of like a big blur?
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure a blur, but I think when they read my name, I thought it was a delay in the recording and like the taping of the show. Because we do it live, but there's like the 5-second delay for like people who curse and stuff. So because they read my name last, and then it was like, and the Critics' Choice, I really had a moment where I thought, are they just repeating the last name of the category? But then everybody was looking at me and like standing up and applauding, and I was just like, wait, what's happening? Is this really happening? Oh my gosh, this happened. Like, and then I really barely remember any of it. I really think I blacked out definitely a couple of times.
Wow, it was so fun to actually be there. I was there backstage when you came back, and I just felt like everyone was kind of rooting for you in this really great way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think that it's fun to be the underdog. I've always been the underdog. I play underdogs on television, and I feel like I'm an underdog. I don't know, as an actor. I mean, I've been around for so long, and it's just fun to feel like everybody was as shocked as I was, but unbelievably excited for me. And that, I think, is what made the win even that much greater and that much stronger, was like walking by so many of my friends that I've worked with, that we've all come up together. And that was, for me, like also really, really heartwarming, because they were all there, my friends. And for a part that, it's those parts where you're like, I don't know, is anyone going to watch this show? Is anyone going to care? And so there were so many reasons why I think winning it in general was so overwhelmingly exciting.
And speaking of underdogs, Quinn King, I would say, is not an underdog. She's the opposite of an underdog. What's your favorite part about playing Quinn? I just love how she's completely unfiltered. She says whatever she wants, and she does whatever she wants.
Yeah, she does. I'd say I think the most fun part about playing her is that it's a challenge. I mean, every day is a challenge. And because I have to make sure that even though she's unfiltered, and sometimes her honesty is right, but it's the way that she delivers it, which is not right. is how to make it feel grounded and real and not a character, but that somebody that people can not necessarily like, but relate to and go, God, I wish I could say those things, or I wish I could be that strong in situations where we don't really have a voice. So I love the challenge of her. I mean, every time I read a script, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to make that work. I really don't. Here goes nothing.
And Lifetime just announced a couple days ago, you guys are coming back June 6th for season 2. And right now you're in Vancouver filming. You're about a fourth of the way through. Is that right?
Yeah, we are shooting our 4th episode right now.
And last time we talked, you mentioned there would be an African-American bachelor on Everlasting for the first time. I can't wait to see that. How are you guys handling the diversity issue? Are you worried about offending people? Are you worried about taking it too far? Maybe that's more of a question for the writers, but are you guys worried at all? Because race is such a hot issue right now in America.
Right. I mean, it's funny because I don't know if worry is the right word. I mean, I think we were worried when we did our first season and had no idea if people were going to like our show or even watch it. I think for us now, there is a sense of anxiety of being able to have an incredible second season after the critical acclaim that we got for the first season. And to be honest, we're not trying to make a commentary on race in America. We just the writers and the producers felt strong about that this was a story that needed to be told, and that we're not commenting on it. It's just existing. It's a story. We happen to have a Black bachelor, and what's the big deal? And I think that just the power of the fact that everybody is talking about it, that's great. I mean, people should be talking about it. It shouldn't be a big deal. It shouldn't be controversial. It shouldn't be all of those things. It's just another bachelor. Not even a bachelor, sorry, a suitor.
A suitor, yes. Maybe
a suitor.
Maybe those folks at ABC will get an idea and finally have their own, Black bachelor. I think that would be fantastic. If your show could actually change, the culture that way, that would be just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm completely terrified by the things that Quinn says about all of it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I offend people on a daily basis, whether I'm talking about race or women or men in general.
Lifetime, I have to give them huge credit. They jump-started this whole Emmy season. They sent all the episodes of season 1 to all the TV Academy members before anyone else did. So they really got the foot in the door before anyone else. Which is really important because your show, it aired so long ago that it's really good that they have the DVDs, and that season 2 will be airing right when Emmy voting is happening. So Lifetime's very smart. You have a good network that you're working for. They're trying hard for you guys.
Yeah, they've really been incredible with the press push and the publicity for the show, because I do think it's important. We're trying to rebrand a network with one show, and it's hard. It's not an easy thing, and that's why we feel so unbelievably grateful, because Lifetime and A&E, they've been so supportive of the show, and the Emmy push is super exciting. And we just, it's fun to think that there's so many people that weren't even aware of the show when those screeners showed up in their mailbox, and we got a whole new generation of viewers from that and from it being on Hulu. And so it's been fun. It's been fun to kind of watch it unfold, even though we're not on the air right now.
Mm-hmm. And you actually have a spinoff, The Faith Diaries, which is completely unheard of for a show in its first season to have a spinoff with one of the breakout, characters from season 1, which is just an online kind of show. But if people want their UnReal fix, they can go there now to the My Lifetime website and watch that little spinoff show, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I mean, it's fun. It keeps the show alive. And I love the idea that even when a show's over and a character is gone from a specific television show, that we can kind of still show you like what happens after they're on a show like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the fact that she gets like an ad campaign and is like, oh, I'm going to go to Hollywood and all this excitement. And the reality is, again, it's not that exciting. It's actually, you know, it's kind of a rough reality. So I love that. I hope they continue to do that with at least one or two characters every season. I think it would be fun.
Mm-hmm. And here's another Emmy question. If you were to get nominated for an Emmy Award, what would that mean to you? So you've worked in this business for a long time. You've had a lot of roles. What would that mean for you?
I honestly don't even think I can wrap my head around even getting a nomination. It seems so surreal and unattainable right now. So I think if if a nomination happened, I'm not quite sure what I would do with myself.
Mm-hmm.
I might not be able to leave the house for a few days because I'd be so emotional I couldn't hack it.
I was trying to remember because you were on Boston Legal and that show got nominated a couple times. Did you go to the Emmys with that group when it was nominated?
I did. I went with Boston Legal and I went with Entourage and I went with House of Cards.
Oh, so you're an expert.
Well, I mean, I say that, but I've always been there as part of, you know, an ensemble and being part of a show that was nominated and being super proud of that already. Mm-hmm. But I think it would be a whole different ballgame. I mean, honestly, I can't even think about it. I'm like, what am I talking about?
Emmy nomination, what?
Because when you're you know, anytime you're single-handedly called out, it's already very, very right. Anxiety making for someone like me.
We're going to be talking to Shiri Appleby in a couple weeks, and this is one of my favorite things to do. I would like to have you ask me a question for Shiri. So when I talk to Shiri, I'll be like, I just talked to Constance, and she wanted me to ask you this.
Oh, but like, what about what in particular? Just like a random question or something?
Yeah, like a random, like something only you would ask her.
Oh, something only I would ask her. Or without putting her on the spot. Oh. See, it's so hard. I go to so many different places. I go to like the super kind place. Then I go to the like, what would Quinn do place. I just say, why don't we just ask her this? We'll just say, ask Shiri what has been her greatest time so far working on UnReal.
Okay, that's perfect.
It's very vague, but she'll probably give you a good answer.
So you mentioned House of Cards, and you did come back this season. It's not really a spoiler or anything, but it was just basically a cameo. It was like a one scene kind of deal. But what was it like to return to the show? I think you haven't been on it since season 2. Is that right?
Yeah, you know, that show is so near and dear to my heart. I still can't believe I'm part of that show. It's such an incredible, like, it's kind of started that whole streaming revolution, which I can't even believe. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. So when they had asked me to come back, I, of course, was like lost my mind. And I was working on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time. And I had been working every single day. And I had one day off in like 6 months of working on S.H.I.E.L.D. Mm-hmm. And the one day I had off was the one day they asked for me for House of Cards. So It was one of those incredible kind of kismet situations where you're like, oh my gosh, oh, this is meant to be. Oh, I get to go back to my people, and seeing the crew and getting to do my scene also with Boris, who's from the original season 1 cast as well, was really great. And this season of House of Cards is, in my opinion, brings us right back to how incredible season 1 was, with all of the mystery and intrigue and death and darkness. And I love that show. I will go back and be there whenever they want me. I also just think Janine's a very important character. She can't just disappear because she knows too much. Right. So I was happy when they wanted me to kind of come back to be like, hey, I'm still here. I'm a little messed up, but I'm still here.
I love that whole storyline of the reporters, investigating Francis. And it seems like every season the old reporter is gone and there's a new one that kind of takes over. Maybe someday you will be that lead reporter who's going after him.
Yeah, I mean, look, God bless David Carr. He was such a big part of our show from the beginning. And, if anybody has stayed true to their ideals of journalism and going after the story and being truthful and honest, it was him. So I would hope that, Janine is that type of reporter that will not just let it go.
One final question here. When you're walking down the street, when you get recognized, is it Quinn that people want to talk to you about, or is it another character that really resonated with audiences?
It used to mostly be Dana Gordon, and then it shifted to Janine, because Janine was also kind of the first character that I think looked more like me. I don't know, because there wasn't a lot of like TV makeup, and I wasn't meant to really look good on that show. And so I think there was a lot more would recognize me for that. Now people recognize me for Quinn, but they don't necessarily want to talk to me for fear that I am actually like Quinn in real life. So there's definitely a little bit of like, hi, I just wanted to tell you, I think you're amazing, and the part you're playing is so fantastic. And then of course the second I'm like, oh, thank you so much, it's so sweet. They're like, they have this look of like, oh, you're actually really nice. Oh, okay, great. You can definitely sense like a little bit of this like trepidation of people thinking that I am that mean in real life.
Well, it was great talking with you again, Constance. We wish you the best of luck at the Emmys. Give us like a 10-second tease of season 2 of UnReal.
Ooh. Well, let's see. It's going to be darker and dirtier.
Ooh.
And yet somehow 3 of the characters will find love again in the most oddest of places.
Perfect. I love it. I can't wait. June 6th, everyone. June 6th, season 2 on Lifetime. We'll catch up with you next time.
You.
Bye.
All right. Thank you so much.